chance to turtle doves and the turtle doves and the partridge in a pear tree. This was my true love gave to me. Four calling birds, three red chance to turtle doves and the turtle doves and the partridge in a pear tree. Calling birds.
What up, my blushing glams? Sack up fed for me. It's your girl Blush, and I'm back with another episode of Glam Chat. You guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I kinda am a little thrown off by what day we are on the 12 days of Christmas. I guess between editing and actually recording, I don't know. I kind of lost count a little bit. So we're probably somewhere between day 8, 9, and 10. But we're really literally a couple of days away from Christmas, so I figure I must have missed a day or two. But I'm still gonna get as much recording as I can get in. Today's recording, I'm actually going to be doing a get ready with me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be home, but I'll be just, putting on some makeup like I love to do and chat with you guys about a topic that I see all over social media. A lot of influencers talk about it, and I thought I'd give my spin on it or give my outlook on it, and that's about manifestation. Now, manifestation has been here for years, and I'm sorry, you guys. I started, and I guess I did introduce myself, but I didn't allow you. I didn't invite you into my Blush and Glam family, so forgive me. If you are new to this channel, please, please, please feel free to join the Blush and Glam family. And you can do that very easily by pressing that subscribe button. And then, of course, so that you always get my videos when they pop up, hit that bell will allow you to do so. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's get back to the video. All right, so manifestation has actually been here for years, even since the dawn of time, probably even before BC. So it's not a new phenomenon, but it is something that a lot of people are talking about now and expressing and just trying to get a little bit more acquainted with. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about what I feel is some of the steps and some of the key components of manifestation, and the power of manifestation, and then also give you my experience on using manifestation. So if you would like to hear my take on it, stay tuned. So meanwhile, you guys, I'm always gonna be, for the past get ready with me, I've pretty much been using these Nubian palettes, Juvia's palettes. This one is the Nubian 2, and this one is the Masquerade. I'm gonna try to see if I can use some colors that are pretty much close to the festivities of the holidays. So I have greens and a little bit of golds. For the Masquerade palette, I will most likely be using Mali, which is up here in the first part of the roll. More likely Zulu, maybe a little bit of Casablanca. And then on the Nubian palette, I will be using for sure Madagascar, which is also at the top here, Morocco, and then I'll probably tie a little bit of Egypt in there as well. Okay, so to save us some time, I've already did the foundation, eyebrows, and I put a little bit of concealer to conceal what needs to conceal. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a little bit of some eyeshadow, and I'm always going to start off with transition colors, which in this case I'm going to be using probably going to start off with a little bit of Madagascar. No. I think I'm going to start off with Zulu. I'm going to start off with Zulu, which is off of the Masquerade palette. And just transition will be pretty much in the crease area. All right, so to pretty much start off with manifestation, like I said, it's not something that's new. It's been here for years. I mean, a lot of people have unlocked the power of manifestation in their lives and seen a lot of great changes in their lives. Now, keep in mind that manifestation is pretty much just claiming things and putting it into the universe and allowing them to exist in that manner. So the same way you can manifest good things, it's the same way you can manifest bad things. So it's kind of like that saying when people say be careful what you ask for. It's the same concept. You definitely want to be careful what you manifest in your life, because you can manifest good things and you can manifest things that are just not good for you at all. Okay. All right. So I'm fluffing. I'm pretty much using like a fluffy shaded brush. I'm not gonna talk. I don't want to talk too much about what I'm doing. I'm just gonna be doing it. I'll probably tell you about the colors just in case you would like to know what color I'm using. But I don't want to turn this into a tutorial because I'm already gonna be talking about something and I don't want to throw things off. So I'm just gonna be going with the flow. All right, I'm now gonna be going into Madagascar, which is off of the Nubian palette. So I'm gonna be doing the same jazz with the Madagascar. So anyways, but more towards the tail. So anyways, like I said, now for me with doing manifestation or practicing manifestation, it is something that takes practice. It's something that can be very powerful if you are able to tap into it and to unlock it. But I feel like there are some key components that you have to incorporate in your manifestation process, and it may not have to be exactly the way I do it or the way the next person does it. It doesn't have to be like this goes first and this goes second, but I just feel like for sure these things need to be a part of your process, whatever it is. For me, the first thing that it takes when you're going to be doing manifestation, when you're manifesting something, is to figure out what is it that you want. What is it exactly that you're trying to pretty much manifest? So let's just use the example of so let's just use the example of a car. Let's say you are in need, or there's a particular car that you want. You got your eye on this car, you want it. You're not quite sure, how you're gonna go about with it, but you want the car. So the first thing you want to do is to even put it in the atmosphere that you want the car. Be specific about the car that you want. That's the first thing to me. That's the first thing that you want to do is to decide what is it you want, put it in the atmosphere, and be very specific on what exactly it is that you want. Now, you can even go further enough as to even saying, when you would like this particular item. Manifesting is part of part of your goal making. So when you set goals, you really want to kind of set a time frame as to when you want to be able to achieve that goal. So it's kind of the same thing with manifesting. I think they all pretty much goes hand in hand. Alright, so now I'm going to go back into the Masquerade palette and up here to Mali and allow this to pretty much be my base for the crease area, the crease color area. So you've basically put it in the atmosphere that this is a particular car that you want. Now, everybody has their own faith base. Some people don't have a faith base at all. But for me, I'm not super conservative, you know, or super religious, but I did grow up in the, you know, growing up, I grew up in the church. So I do have a faith base. So part of my manifestation process, and for me, I feel like in order for it to be successful for you, you definitely want to include whatever your faith-based process, whatever your faith base is. Like I said, everybody's belief system is different, but you have to use and apply what is part of your belief system. So for me, that would include praying and meditating and just having a connecting moment with whoever your higher power is. I realize that when I'm most connected, you know, praying more and just doing things to be more connected to God, for me, I find that I'm a little bit more grounded. I find that I'm a little bit more successful. I find that I'm a little bit more motivated. And again, that's me. So again, part of my manifestation process is always going to include having that aspect in my process. Okay, so after I pretty much put in the atmosphere what is it that I want. Now I'm gonna go to, you know, God, and I'm gonna pray, that whatever it is that I'm desiring right now, that I want, or that I'm trying to achieve, that it is for me. Because a lot of times, you know, we think we know what's good for us, and really, you know, we learn too little too late that whatever it is that we thought was good for us is not good for us. So I'm gonna meditate on it. I'm gonna, you know, try to get connected. I'm gonna try to do my thing and have a constant conversation with God about what it is that I want, and if it is for me, and let it continue to rock in my path, and may He give me, and may the resources that I need in order to achieve this be abundant to me. So I go through that. So after I basically claimed it, now I'm having a conversation. I'm connecting with my higher power, or I'm connected with God. And now I'm going to shift over to pretty much what's the next phase for me. The next phase is to write it down. So, you know, when you have a goal, when you have something that you want to achieve, you know that old saying, seeing is believing? Well, that those same things play a part in manifestation. I feel like you need to write it down, because if you see it, you are more likely to believe that you are going to be able to achieve said thing, you know. Now I'm going to go with another fluffy brush, and towards the tail end, I'm going to use, well, actually, before I do that, I'm actually going to go back and use a lighter transition color to kind of blend in that green, and then probably going to go into Jezebel to time, because I'm going to have a mauve lip. Anywho, so yeah, so now you start writing things down. And I'm gonna go into with Jezebel as well. You start writing things down. So yeah, now you start writing things down, because now it allows your mind to see and envision exactly what it is that you are trying to achieve, what exactly it is that you want. So you basically need to start to write it down. And that's gonna pretty much be it for the eye. You guys know I don't get too extravagant with when it comes to my eyes. At least while I'm talking, at least. Okay, so to do a little bit of contouring, I'm going to be going into the palette I always go to, which is the Arcade by Kiss, which is pretty much a contour palette, and I'm going to go in with the darkest shade here, and pretty much rub it on. So yeah, so pretty much at that point you're pretty much done with the foundation portion of your manifestation. The only other thing at that point is just really executing. So just because you manifest something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna wake up, walk out your door, and the car's gonna be sitting there, or you just snap your finger like I dream of Jean, and the item is going to be there. Like, you're still going to have to do some sort of working and executing in order to, you know, to get what it is that you're trying to manifest in your life. So if it is this particular car that you are trying to manifest, so at that point, I use one brush. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with the MAC Ambering Rose. As my blush. So anyways, yeah, so now you decided, okay, so you want to get this car. Now what is it exactly you're going to need in order to be able to get this car? So are you going to need to save up some money? Are you going to need to get a second job? Are you going to need to fix your credit? Are you going to, do you have a place to park the car? These are things that now you're going to have to start figuring out these things, and then from there, once you figure things out, you start basically putting in the work. Then yeah, you just start basically putting in the work, and if it's meant for you, listen, there is no telling where or how far your manifestation can actually take you. I'm gonna start off with this mascara I picked up over at TJ Maxx. It's claimed that it was voluminous, whatever. I got a lot of volume. It is called Also Waterproof. So yeah, so we'll see how that works. And then I got this also from CVS, which is Voluminous Lash Paradise. This was actually a recommendation from a makeup artist that did the makeup for Beyonce Coachella makeup, and he raved about how this was an awesome mascara. So I will be using this to top off the other mascara. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of liner on my lid. So yeah, so just keep in mind that when you are manifesting things in your life, if it's just not meant for you at this particular time in your life, you may not even see the fruits of your labor, at least right now. Keep at it, eventually you'll get it, especially if you have discipline, which is another part, to me, is another component of your manifestation as well. So discipline is definitely a important part of your manifestation process. You just gotta put some things in place, you know. Yeah, so to me, those are the key components of manifesting, and watching the power of manifestation just do its thing and work. And also just being patient as well, and trusting the process. Because again, sometimes you figure things are good for you, and it may be good for you, but it just may not be good for you at this moment in your life. Or it's just not good for you. It's just not something that's meant for you. You may be wanting something because you see somebody else have it, and that's their story. You have your own story that you have to write. So again, that part of your process. You gotta just make sure that it's whatever you're manifesting is right for you. So normally I would set the under eye with Laura Mercier, but I'm not getting up again, you guys. So I'm just going to I'm gonna go back to this Arcade by Kiss palette and just go into one of the lighter, probably between these two, and just try to set my under eye with them. Right, so now I'm gonna go into, because I'm pretty much getting close to the ending of my face. So now I'm gonna tell you about how I experienced manifestation myself. So this was about maybe 4 years ago, going on 5 years ago. So like I said, I'm gonna start off with this mascara. One of my friends at the time, she wanted a vision board party, and we were supposed to be planning it like as if it was supposed to be like a slumber party or something of the sort. And something came up. I think maybe she had a loss to her family, or something came up, and she didn't want to. She either couldn't or didn't want to do the vision board party anymore. But the kind of friends that we were, we still wanted to see it through. So we still ended up planning it as a surprise for her at that point, at another one of the girls' house. And it was still gonna, be a summer party, but I'm not really one to kind of do the whole slumber thing. So I didn't end up staying the night, but we all just kind of met up at the other friend house. And then we pretty much, everybody had to bring something, like the boards. Somebody brought the markers, somebody brought the pictures from the magazines, the scissors, the snacks. Everybody brought something, and we pretty much set up, and it was a surprise. And you know, she wasn't expecting it. Like, she knew she wanted to have it, but she didn't think we were gonna still go through with it. So it was a pleasant surprise. And so as we were there, you know, everybody's going through the magazines and choosing things that they wanted to see happen either for the following year. So let's say that was 2015. So 2016, no, I think that was 2014. It was 2014, I believe, and then 2015 would have been the following year. So everybody wanted to see everybody wanted to basically do the vision boards on what they wanted to see happening for them in 2015. So for me, I was kind of like in one of those on and off again relationships that kind of wasn't really going anywhere at the time. So although in my mind, really and truly, I didn't see myself getting married at the time, but it was something that I wanted. So on my vision board, I put like, you know, wedding on there. I put kids. Mind you, again, in my mind, I wasn't really seeing that happening anytime soon, but it was still something I wanted. So I cut out pictures of wedding dresses, like, you know, a couple. I cut out a picture of, you know, designer shoes, because you guys know I love shoes. And then in mom, I wanted to open like a shoe boutique, a car. It was a nice up-to-date car on there, businesses and stuff like that on there. So that was that. And really and truly, like, I never really kind of thought about the power of manifestation at that time. We're just doing a vision board party. So it's the first time I did a vision board before, and we just having fun, having girls night. That was like January 2015. Later on that year, I ended up meeting my now husband. At the time, of course, I didn't know he was gonna be my husband. I thought he was just another guy, because at the time I'm just dating. So I'm thinking he's gonna be, just like another guy, like me, and things either work out or they don't work out or whatever. And honestly, it kind of was like that because we were talking this week and not talking this week. Not because we were mad at each other. It was nothing to do with that. It's just that he had his own thing going on. I had my own thing going on. We had an understanding that everybody was just, you know, just living their life. So we would talk some days and then we'd go weeks without talking and then we'll, hey, how you doing? That type of stuff. But then we ended up getting more serious later on that year. And then the following year, I ended up getting pregnant. Also getting, I also got proposed to that same year, but I didn't get married that year. My wedding was planned for 2 years later. And I did end up starting some businesses. Some of them, one of the businesses, we still kept the business, but we kind of changed things around a little bit with the business. But I ended up opening businesses there. I think I got my first real designer shoes because, you know, around that time, you know, we were into like Steve Madden. We were into like Steve Madden's, and I don't think Baker's was still there. If you guys know Baker's, you know what I'm talking about when I say Baker's, comment below. But like, you know, Aldo and stuff like that, those were like kind of like the trendy shoes and stuff like that. But I think within that year, I ended up getting my first real designer shoe, which again, that was one thing that was on my my vision board. So not everything on my vision board I was able to achieve, but a lot of it's because I didn't really pursue it as hard as I did certain other things. But when it came down to like me actually like meeting my husband, and then the fact that I almost got me meeting my husband and then getting proposed to and all that other good stuff, I didn't really see that coming. And I thought about it like a year later and I was like, wow, I put that on my vision board and long and behold, you know, it ended up happening. It didn't happen the same day, it didn't happen the same week, but within that same vicinity, it ended up happening. So believe it or not, even though I do see a lot of people talking about manifesting, and it may be a fad or a trend for some people, but if you really take it serious, it can be a very powerful thing in your life. And like I mentioned to you in the beginning of this video, be careful what you manifest, because sometimes you can manifest things that you wish you never did. And I'm just using pretty much my Sephora Micro Smooth as my setting powder, and the color I'm using is deep. But yeah, so with that being said, that was pretty much my experience with manifestation. I truly believe that it's something that is possible in your life if you allow it to be, and if you do what you're supposed to do to make it happen. For my lips, I am going to be using, I was supposed to be using Cyber from MAC, and I can't find where I put it. So I'm going to be using this Revlon, which is very similar to the Cyber. It's called Baba Violet. I wanted to kind of stick to like dark fall colors because we're pretty much in fall, walking into winter. So I wanted to keep the colors pretty much dark. Alright, so here is pretty much the finished look. Hopefully you guys did enjoy our sit down and our chat. And you know, as we are approaching 2021, I know 2020 has been a very trying year, confusing year, frustrating year, feeling confined, feeling boxed up, feeling cornered. But you know, you definitely have to do what you need to do to kind of get yourself out of that and continue to be optimistic and push forward, because believe it or not, The same way that you feel like this was a trying year and you feel cornered, a lot of people have blossomed through what we've experienced. So it hasn't been horrible for everyone, and I believe it's just all about your outlook and just taking lemons and actually making lemonade out of a situation that we're all experiencing. Because you definitely are not in this alone. You just gotta keep pushing no matter what. So while we're gonna be approaching 2021, I think this is a perfect time for you to just start looking at things that you can actually tweak in your life, that you can add on to, that you can subtract from, to kind of help you cope with either our new norm or just allow yourself to push forward. Be goal oriented, be solution driven in all that you do. Don't always look at the negative side of things. Look at how you can make the best situation out of what you have going on. And I promise, once you start taking an outlook on that, you'll find that life is a little bit easier to kind of manage. Once you start letting things go, once you start realizing things that you cannot control, you let it go. And things that you do have control over, you basically control, you handle it the best way you can. Life will be a little more smoother. So until we meet again, you guys, I'm sorry, I literally did stop. Not even say I've stopped counting, but I lost track of counting. So I'm not sure if this would be day 8 or 9, but I'm sure we're more pushing over 9 and 10. Because literally the next day or so is gonna be Christmas. But I'll still try to record, even if I go over Christmas. I'll still try to record just to kind of make sure the content that I did wanted to push out to you guys still be able to be received. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video. Later.